here, and today we are looking at the Transformers Prime Cliffjumper figure. Cliffjumper is one of my favorite Autobot. I think he is my second favorite next to Prime himself. And he was actually the draw for me and why I even started watching the series, and then they kind of, spoiler alert, kill him off in like the first episode. But anyway, in my mind, he's not gone. This figure improves all the badassery that Cliffjumper embodies. If you read the comics, you know that Cliffjumper is a little badass. He's like a pure hellion. He's pretty much what, I guess, for a long time, the Bayformer movies have been trying to make Bumblebee. People like Decepticons and other aliens are afraid of this guy for good reason, because he's just pure warrior. Anyway, this figure, I don't know how to put it into words. It's just pure badass. It's like he's the yin to the generic Bumblebee's yang. Bumblebee turns into a Camaro, he turns into a Challenger. Now, what I love so much about this figure and this version of Cliffjumper is I have the original Cliffjumper, the old school one, that was the tiny little Camaro. Now Bumblebee is a Camaro. So they said, fine, we'll just move it up, make him a Challenger. The Challenger is my favorite vehicle ever. When I first saw this one, I was like, yep, about the only thing I would take off of this thing is the freaking horns. But still, every inch of this figure is well done. The one thing I gotta say off the bat, though, that I'm not happy with is that this figure seems lighter, and design-wise, he seems a tad bit different from the first edition version. He only comes with the one accessory you saw in his hand, which is a gravity hammer slash, assault rifle of some sort. On the box, they have this weird configuration where they want you to put the gun like that. To me, that looks stupid. It really makes it look that much more like a toy. I prefer the twisted metal approach. That looks like something that you wouldn't fuck with if you saw on the street. It also looks like something that the Decepticons wouldn't fuck with. And, it takes a little cue from the Bayformers movies, and that was one of the aspects that did work from Dark of the Moon, is that their weapons popped up while in vehicular mode. And I think it just looks nice. So that is how I would make him use his gun. But I mean, you'd have to be an idiot to complain about this figure. I mean, there's not much to complain about. I know some people didn't like the glass, the transparent glass, but whatever. It makes it look more like a car, a real car. Now, I think this one fits more with my favorite version of Bumblebee, which is the Classics version. He's like a Matrix vibe hybrid. I always thought that, he should still be kind of small and squat and, have to work for his. So that way you understand what makes Bumblebee such a cool character. But anyway, with these two together, it gives you more of a contrast when they're in their vehicle mode. And then when you see them in robot mode, because they share the horns and they share the kind of stocky design, they still feel connected, they still feel kind of similar without being, head swaps of the exact same figure. Now, the awesome thing about this is if you're a fan of Prime or not, or if you're a fan of G1 or whatever, this figure retains so many little aspects of the original, and he looks cool with the others, and he fits in with the Prime universe because he's from the Prime universe. He even fits in amongst your classics that you can't really complain. My favorite aspect is the fact that he looks awesome next to Bumblebee, and he still looks related, except now it's like he has his own look altogether. And like I said, Bumblebee should be this tiny little thing, and I like that. And I like that Cliffjumper is this tiny little thing, because the Cliffjumper I know is a badass. I mean, that's the one that, in all the comics, people are afraid of him. He's like this little hellion. And then Bumblebee is this little skilled soldier who bites off more than he can chew and actually handles the job, because he's anxious to prove himself. And these two kind of, this Cliffjumper definitely embodies that, and so does this particular Bumblebee. So it's not too much you can complain about. I wish that he had the folding gun hands from the first edition, but whatever. The shock hammer and the blaster is pretty cool. So this is definitely a great figure to have. He's the second Cliffjumper I've owned since G1 Cliffjumper. So, and he seems to be the only one that's worth picking up, in my opinion. So if you see him, pick him up. 12 bucks. He's awesome. Anyway, you guys have been great. Remember to check out my website, and I will talk to you soon. I got a couple more reviews for you. Peace outside, people.